Okay, so what follows is going to be my first ever live VOD review. Instead of just me recording a video, uploading it to YouTube. I'm doing a live one because I'm going to be focusing on one individual person and role, as opposed to analyzing the broader team strategy and approach. So I was asked by Hoep here, who is the main tank for the Somewhat Violets, which is one of NYU's two teams. I work mainly with the Ultraviolets, but happy to help out all of the NYU teams. So he asked if I could take a look at some gameplay and give some feedback. So I wish I could have gotten this done sooner, Hohep, but he asked me last week, but I'm getting around to it now. But without further ado, let's jump into this. I'm not sure if I'm just going to be looking at Eichenwald or if I'll go ahead and review more than that. But for sure, we're going to look at least Eichenwald here.
Subbing.
Let's get forward to some gameplay.
Are you
yeah,
joining? Oh. I had it as something else.
Okay, here we go. The match hasn't started, not enough players. I see, he's just messing with them. Okay.
That makes sense.
I'm going Zarya because there's no.
We're gonna play Run defense, yeah. So Ryan, D.Va, Ana, Zen or / Lucio, Doom, Soldier.
I feel like Lucio on the second points would be more helpful for the booth.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going Zarya because there's no high ground really for D.Va, so it's not really good for me to get D.Va.
Alright, in which case, make sure we call out our grabs so we can possibly meteor strike into them.
So I'm not sure if
this
game was played before or after.
Yeah, that's our main
debug here.
Those are our two main combos.
This Ryan skin had a bugged voice line where you could barely hear him call out his shatter.
So just make sure you guys coordinate those well.
Tell me when they're right before the bridge. Put a show all the way over here.
Once they pass the bridge.
Where?
Oh, I'm like all the way over here.
Yeah, stand up on, like over there. Where are you?
Oh, you
gonna
mean
do that?
Like, once they pass the bridge, right?
No, right before.
Right before the bridge. Okay, we'll tell you when they're right before the bridge. When you turn the corner, right?
And then, get ready to bubble me.
Right. I'll say they're here when they pass the corner. There is
What's the pharmacy?
Oh, I'm lagging hard. Oh man. They're here.
Okay, so here I think that we could have been a bit more aggressive.
There is
So let's see, our shield's getting eaten. So right here, I think is like when you drop the shield, let it recharge and step up and take swings. Your Zarya is gonna have a friendly bubble for you. You've got your Zen and Ana right behind you who are not in any immediate danger based on where the teams are positioned.
I'm lagging.
And this Rhine is just walking forward holding shield and taking space as we are walking backward. I think that instead of backing up here, we try and make them work for the space a little bit harder. We step up, we take a swing, we call for a Zarya bubble, maybe in case of the Roadhog hook. But don't let the Rhine just like walk in for free here. Take some swings at him and make him kind of earn this space, because he just kind of gets through here for free. I'm also going to swap, I think green is easier to see, maybe pink. I don't know what color is easiest to see. We'll go with green because it's different than the others.
Oh man.
So yeah, they kind of just walk unscathed through there. And I get that we're a little bit concerned about the Pharah, but Pharah at this point is already
hard. Oh man.
already has angles over the shield anyway, so
It really hurt. They don't have many left?
and here, like, so with 53 shield, it's not really gonna do much anyway, right?
They don't have many left?
You want that to be recharging if you need it. Okay, good pin. But here again, we could be swinging a little bit more. I mean, it's almost like it's a little bit of a lost fight because you've lost 2 players already. So at this point, you have to be thinking.
They don't have many left?
So once that second hero dies, we know that it's a lost fight, and
Wait, Swagger, are you gonna be?
oh no,
subbing?
I lost it.
Get ready to bubble me.
Right.
I just wanted to up the quality a little bit.
So I was saying Ryan. I'm on the run, try to peel Ryan off.
So yeah, they completely displaced us on point. They really didn't have to work very hard to get point, and then so at this point we've lost 2. That's when a call has to go out, or players have to recognize that the fight is essentially lost. So good peel there, but now we have to get on point, die, build ult charge.
You should be on targets.
Oh yeah, I should have chatted more. So I was saying Ryan.
Right. Just whoever's over there.
Because Ryan was.
So that's like, we don't want to die off point there. If the fight's already lost, we're getting out if we can.
Right.
But if you're not 100% sure about getting out, we're dying on point.
Try to peel Ryan off.
And you could really like start swinging here and just build up Shattered Charge for the next fight, because you're gonna die anyway. So here's where we go towards point.
You should be on targets.
I guess he gets displaced a little bit.
So I was saying Ryan.
Maybe he couldn't have gotten back thanks to the Doomfist. But
there.
that's like the principle there. The main thing I think is going back to the start of the fight here.
When they pass the corner. There is
What's the pharmacy?
Again,
Oh,
here's a moment where we step up.
hard. Oh man.
And then once they're through, this rotation has to happen really fast. So they got through there, then we need to get back and challenge them at point.
It really hurt. They don't have many left?
So we got there decently fast. Could have rotated faster as soon as we realized that was their objective. And then of course the rest of this.
Right. Just whoever's over there.
Because Ryan was on our soldier, right? So I just wanted to peel him off by hitting.
So I'm looking for dive swaps now for point B icon walls.
Let's regroup. Don't rush in. You're still, you're down main tank, so. Just play out, watch the Pharah.
Oh, I'm spinning.
Okay, we can move up.
Doing castle.
Hog's behind.
Hog on left.
I have to go McCree for this Jarrett.
So we kind of got baited by that hog a little bit.
Hog's behind.
So we know between Pharah and their Doomfist, our backline is relatively vulnerable without mobility. So
Hog's behind.
when we jump down here, we let our healers go unprotected.
Hog on left.
And in that time where we dropped after the
I have to go
hog.
McCree for this Jarrett.
You can
we got our healer killed.
I have to go.
Hog on left.
That was a heads up play by
Hog's behind.
Hog on left.
their Doomfist to wait for that opportunity.
I have to go.
And we didn't quite challenge early enough either.
I have to go McCree for this Jarrett.
You can
Let me go back here.
Down, maintain. So. Just play out. Watch the Pharah.
So our soldiers down here. Now here, for this type of reset, the payload is still pretty far back, even if you know, your team wipes and you have to come back from spawn, because it stops at that door for a while and then has to turn the corner. So ideally the team is taking positions up here on the rampart. It'd be really good if we got our soldier up there and our Zen up there before the start of this next team fight. Zen is safer up there because Doomfist can't launch off the top here at him. It gives our soldier better sightlines and angles on Pharah. So I'd like to see the team going up on the ramparts now. Then Ryan can follow him up there, but team's down here, so Ryan's... So yeah, we need to move up.
doing castle.
So we're giving them a little bit too much space here again, and letting them kind of dictate the space control here.
Doing
I
castle.
think the tank here has to be more aggressive in leading that push up. There was a call back here. Where was
Don't
that
rush
call?
Just play out. Watch the Pharah.
I'm upstairs.
Okay, we can move up.
Okay, yeah. So right there was the call to move up, and instead of moving up, we kind of just stay all in the same area that we were in when our Rhine got back. And I agree, now is the time to move up. Because the payload's all the way back there, and they have one or two on payload, meaning they're not going to have their full support here. So Ryan has to be leading that taking that space.
Doing castle.
We're just giving them a lot of ground here that doesn't need to be given. I'm trying to see where our Doomfist
Doing
goes
castle.
in on his own. Our Doomfist was initially dove out of the range of the healers. But if we got our tank line moved up there, we might give our Doomfist a little bit more support. Again, we're playing on the back foot and we're letting them dictate the space here. Even with Roadhog coming down here, and then Doomfist diving in, we gave them all of the space that they needed to make plays. Even though we were all stacked up as 6, we didn't take an advantageous position either on the rampart or when we were grouped up, move forward to challenge. I always like to challenge this payload before that corner and hold that corner right there, that corner. I always like to make sure that on point B we get a challenge on the payload or on the enemy team at or around this corner. By paying back here, we don't get that challenge there, and so they're going to get a lot of extra and free payload push up here, so that by the time the team's going to regroup for this next fight, the payload's already going to be at the bridge, more than likely.
Hog's behind.
Hog on left.
Yeah, and then again, the flanking hog baited our Rhine away, which opened up an opportunity for Doomfist.
I have to go McCurry for his terrorists.
You can swap off of.
And then they smell blood in the water, right? They got 2 picked off,
If you feel like it's too unsafe.
and it's just easy cleaning.
You guys have to back up. McCree, don't go out. We can hold them at the door. We're gonna have 3 ults here.
So now we saw their Rhine use Shatter at the end of that last fight.
It's here.
So now we can be a little bit more aggressive with our Shatter. Look for that opportunity, because we don't have to worry about a counter Shatter.
Do not go out there yet.
All right, let's go right side with Ryan. Right side with Ryan.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna chance out.
Okay. All right, I'm on
Right.
on their Ryan, on their Ryan, on their Ryan.
Road out there.
Okay, I like
On their
this.
Roadhog behind us.
Hog. The Mercy's rising.
The Mercy went low. Okay, focus up, nice. So you have to stay on point.
So I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm on
By the time, so we had to challenge the point
Not go out there yet.
kind of at the last second.
all right, let's go right side with Ryan. Right side with Ryan.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna chance.
And I think that the payload being this close, I think made our Reinhardt play more aggressive
Trans
by
out.
default.
Okay.
So we got the trans, and then he starts swinging.
All right,
So
I'm on
I like that a lot, because he knows that he's gonna be supported with
Right.
heals.
on their Ryan.
So he starts swinging away.
On their Ryan. On their
Is that the
Ryan.
Roadhog behind us?
Hog.
I think that we even could have looked for a Shatter
All right, I'm
3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna chance out.
earlier.
okay. All right, I'm on
Right.
on their Ryan. On their Ryan. On their Ryan.
Road out there.
I think we look for a Shatter earlier as we're coming out the door.
1, go. I'm gonna chance out.
Because with the trans,
Okay.
like if we got a
Alright.
Shatter on point,
I'm
we
on,
catch Lucio. Ryan did not have a
on the
shield
Ryan,
up
on
until just then.
Their Ryan. On their Ryan.
Road out
And then if we use the Shatter then, with all the swings that we're going to get, we're going to be really close on another Shatter.
On
Is
their
that the
That's
Roadhog behind us?
nitpicky,
Hog.
so that's fine. But I do like the aggressive play, knowing that you're supported by the trans, to just get in there and swing your hammer.
The Mercy's rising.
The Mercy went low. Okay, focus up, nice. So you have to stay on point. Staggered, yeah, he's staggered. That's good. Just don't die to him.
Kill him. Kill him now.
He's asleep. He's asleep. He's asleep. He's asleep.
Kill him now. Their team's gonna come back soon. Want to be out.
Nice.
Okay, good stagger on Hog.
Big.
So here we're setting up again too cautiously. We don't need to set up on the point
Yeah, we
here.
have to stay on point, but one of the DPS go bridge.
We're going bridge. I have behind you.
So I disagree with that call that was being made by a teammate,
Right.
I got
that we need to stay on point. We don't need to stay on point. We need to be careful that they don't backcap, but we don't need to stay on point. Again, this is giving them a ton of space for free, a lot of angles of approach, and it's also conceding high ground. I think that because of the stagger on Hog, we already have a man advantage, so we need to take a more aggressive position to kind of take advantage of the geography here. So whether that's going up top with our soldier and McCree and our Zen, or if we're going up here and then falling back to point, like when they start playing more aggressive or if they come this way. But we want to open up sight lines too, and playing up here gives more sight lines to the returning team if they come that way.
Just watch the ferret. You can't contest the ferret.
This is having everyone kind of stacked up back here doesn't give us a lot of good sight lines on the incoming enemy.
That's dangerous.
Through the castle.
Yeah, Ryan's on the left side.
Another thing that Ryan could have done is, because he still has this shatter, is setting up in a position for a flank shatter type of thing. Excuse me. So setting up top so you can land a shatter, like if they're coming in that way, hit them from behind, or over here. There's that little like ramp that goes up. You kind of hide out there for a second, and then hit them as they come in from castle with a shatter. I get the like desire to be there and be a shield for against that Pharah, but you have to trust your teammates in some situations to place sight lines for themselves. So using the payload as a shield, using the map as a shield. You don't always have to be their shield, particularly when it's kind of like this in-between phase.
Through the castle.
Yeah, Ryan's on the left side. Hogs main.
Watch out, McCree.
Right, left side, they're coming through the castle. Yeah, Ryan, get Ryan. Ryan.
Doom's back right. Doom is back right. Doom is in the building.
Doom's back right.
Doom is whoa. Same point. We have this. We have 3 ults. We can use them.
I got grab. You have meteor strike? No, you don't. You're not on Doom.
We're ready for the high noon number.
Yeah, I got bubble for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch this again.
But no, just watch the ferret. You can't contest the ferret by yourself. That's dangerous.
Through the castle.
Yeah, Ryan's on the left side. Hogs main.
Watch out, McCree.
Right, left side, they're coming through the castle.
So a good block, good counter shatter.
Right, left side, they're coming through the castle.
I can see like we're not entirely sure whether we
Hogs main.
should be
Watch out, McCree.
angling towards the hog or
Right,
angling
left side,
towards the
they're coming through
Rhine.
castle.
I think if you know that the Rhine has shatter, then you angle towards him, obviously. Use the payload for cover from the Roadhog.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Ryan, get Ryan.
Doom's back right. Doom is back right. Doom is in the building.
Doom's back right.
Doom is whoa. Same
Good
point.
kill.
We have this. We have 3 ults. We can use them.
I got grab. You have.
So here I'm pressing W here.
We're ready for the high noon.
I'm like W hopping forward here.
Because
we have the advantage. And we don't want to be caught on the bridge, because that opens us up to Pharah boops.
Use them.
But here with the advantage and
We have
their
3
hog
ults, we
kind
can
of
use 'em.
retreating, I'm W hopping forward, right here, getting off the bridge
I got grab. You have meteor strike? No, you don't. You're not on Doom.
and giving a challenge to that hog so
We're
that
ready for
he
high
can't
noon
just poke while the team's down. You want to
Yeah, I
flush
got
him
that
out a
for
little
you.
bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna nano you too.
See, Zarya and Anna are moving forward. We need to be in front of that.
Yeah, they know you're there. He's coming. The pharmacist is above you.
Artisan knows you're there.
And again, now with the reset coming up, like, okay, so we got Pharah. Teams are regrouping. We want to decide whether to be on one side of the bridge or the other against a Pharah, or a Hog, because if Hog can land a hook, like here, that can be really bad too. If I'm playing Ryan here, I'm definitely W hopping forward and taking this area, and that's going to force them to back off a little bit. It also gives some peels to our McCree. Our McCree unfortunately gets taken out. But if our McCree is up there and he needs to drop back because he's taking damage or Winston dove him, we want to be like able to swing a hammer around him to protect him from a Hog, put a shield up so that he doesn't get hooked trying to retreat there. Give our McCree a little bit more support up there.
Yeah.
Lucio as well.
Doom behind.
Burn,
Thank you.
winnable.
Swing in Mercy, swing Mercy.
So it would have been nice if that grab was called out. I'm gonna go back to the start here. So okay, so we're down now. We're down McCree. Wow, you see that? How close the Zarya was to getting booped by that Lucio? Watch this. She got really lucky there. And that's why you don't set up on bridge against a boop comp like Roadhog and Lucio and Pharah. And then she was lucky there too that she had bubble, because she almost got knocked back by the Hoggle.
Doom behind.
Burn,
Thank you.
winnable.
Yep.
Burn,
So yeah, there was no call out on that grab at all, so I can't really blame our Rhine here. That grab needs to be called out, because by the time that he kind of realizes that that grab is out on the other side of the payload and starts swinging on it, he gets one swing on it before...
Thank you.
Right, yep, he gets one swing on it before the grab drops. But if he gets two,
Thank you.
three swings,
Swing Mercy.
then Mercy's dead for sure.
no, you can't make it. You can't make it.
So now we know coming into this fight that Roadhog used ult, they beated recently, they shattered recently, they barraged. So they're gonna have Valk and
My lags are really.
maybe halfway to Primal. We kind of just let them beat away at our shield here. Like, we have to remember that our shield is not just like an implement for protecting our team from incoming damage. It does that, yes, but it's attached to a Reinhardt with the ability to move forward and backwards. So the shield is just as much about space creation as it is about protection. So when we're preventing damage
My lags are really.
for our team, we want to, like here especially, we just kind of sit on the shield and let it be chipped away to no effect. If the shield's gonna take damage anyway, then we should be looking to use it in such a way that it gets our team into a better position to make a contest of the payload. So W hopping forward, looking for that shatter opportunity.
Do shatter got you.
because they're not on Rhine. Right, they swapped their right here. We see they swapped their Reinhardt to Monkey, which means that our Shatter here is a lot easier to pull off.
Yo, same. My lag.
We should be aggressively looking for Shatter. There were multiple Shatter opportunities there.
If you shatter, I got you.
I got bubble for you, Ryan, if you want us to be aggressive.
No, there were so many Shatter chances. And then by the time that we do use the Shatter, they've already built up a lot of counter ults and we were down. Like, let's look at this. There's a Shatter opportunity. There was another.
If you shatter, I got you.
There's another one.
I got bubble for you.
There's
Ryan, if you
another
want us
one
to be
that's a really good one. Their Mercy was on the ground, their Lucio was on the ground. And their tanks just like completely get in there. We could, like, a monkey shouldn't be allowed to play that just like melee range pokey. Like their Winston just sits at this corner, zapping relatively close. You shouldn't be allowed to be that close without punishment.
If you shatter, I got you.
I got bubble for you, Ryan, if you want us to be aggressive.
Did we see the tanks get by us there? So we didn't see the monkey get behind. Okay, so that's when we do finally Shatter. So again, we could have been more aggressive with that. Then on this Shatter that we do get, okay, so we got Lucio and we got Roadhog. So Lucio is the target to go after, not Hog.
I'm on the Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
So prioritizing the
Watch out.
Doom is one. Doom is one.
Point,
oh, that's really a shame that that res got off. Yeah, so I'm looking to take out Lucio in that Shatter.
I'm on the Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
You have no healers. You have no healers.
We have no healers. Watch out.
To throw Fire Strike there. Right.
I'm on the Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
You have no healers. You have no healers.
We have no healers.
Okay,
Watch
so
out.
right idea to cover that res. It's unfortunate that she...
Doom is one. Doom is one.
I think she was Valking, so...
Point,
Or it
point.
just passed.
Doom is one.
Watch out.
On the Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
You have no healers. You have no healers.
Now she was
We have
out of
no
Valk,
healers.
never
Watch
mind. Throw the Fire Strike there, instead of charging at her.
Doom is one. Doom is one.
Because you know that when she's resing Hog, she gets that res off on Hog, you know he's going to come back up to life with a cooldown.
Point.
I throw the Fire Strike there at the
Doom is one,
Mercy
Doom is
flying
one.
away.
Doom is one. Doom is one.
And then stay to hammer the Hog.
Point. I'm coming out with the grab. Wrong card with Sims. Grab in 3.
Okay, we swapped to ball.
You guys ready? Mercy's in the grab. Lucio in the grab.
Doom.
Doom.
Yeah. Ooh, they don't have healers. Go engage them.
We win this.
Force fights. They don't have healers.
Rolled up top.
There's a hog behind again.
We're all split, by the way.
Just play to survive, don't play to kill.
Swing in.
No, we're winning. We're in the lead. Here. They're staggering.
We're staggering hard. Push up.
That hog is getting away with so
Run
much.
behind.
He already built another whole hog.
Nice kill.
That could have been really bad.
We win
Force
this.
fight.
And to go back to when we swapped ball,
Okay,
I'm on the Mercy.
you have no healers.
We have no healers. Watch out.
Doom is one.
Point. I'm coming out with the grab. Wrong card with Sims. Grab
I
him,
almost want to say stay Ryan there.
You guys ready?
Because you
Mercy's in the grab.
don't, they weren't on the
Lucio.
payload
Lucio in the grab.
really, and
Doom.
Doom.
we were contesting with trans. I would almost stay Ryan just for the
Yeah.
hammer. You can build a really fast shatter in these tight spaces.
Ooh, they don't have healers. Go engage them.
win this, we win
Force fights. They don't have healers.
Rolled up top.
There's a hog behind again.
We're all split.
Yeah, when you did displace that hog, he got away with way too
Get
much.
this all out.
No, we're winning. We're in the lead. Here. They're staggering.
We're staggering hard. Push up.
Roll is behind up top.
Run behind. It's purple. Nice kill.
But all in all,
Have
good
an analyzer?
good recovery.
Yeah,
You can, like-
soldier, get high ground.
Get higher. Yeah, get higher.
Get ready to swing.
I'm on the
Pile
Winston
drive.
Monkey. Hit monkey. Okay,
Alright,
off monkey.
ready.
On Doom. Doom's away. Now Winston Monkey.
I saved that minefield there.
Watch for the
Don't let him get
C9.
back.
Sandra, watch for C9.
You can.
Not a lot of value out of that minefield with the nano visor.
Nice kill. You have an analyzer?
So
Yeah,
their
you can
hog
soldier,
just
get high
died.
ground, Get high ground.
Get higher. Yeah, get higher.
So they're making this push 5-on-6 anyway, right? Because that hog was just killed.
I'm on the Winston Monkey. Hit monkey.
That was a really good pile drive and kill on the low health target.
I'm on the Winston Monkey.
So really good spot there. That on the pile drive, the Brigitte was vulnerable.
Monkey. Hit monkey. Okay,
Alright,
off monkey.
ready.
So now you're up 6-4,
On Doom.
and you had the nano visor. So I save minefield here.
On Doom.
Like if this is like 10-15 seconds, then maybe pop it. But they're gonna get one more recontest here, barely. After this nano visor.
On Doom.
So I think that if you save that minefield and then until the very, very last push, let the nano visor do the work here.
On Doom. Doom's away. Now Winston Monkey.
Because you see that minefield is not getting a lot of value. It's also not positioned as well as it could have been.
Let him get back.
So the way that I always like to do
On
minefield,
Doom. Doom's away.
and I'm still learning ball myself, but
On Doom.
so even regardless of whether or not we should have used Minefield, we didn't use it in an effective way regardless. Popping it there, you know, so that doesn't cut off any of the access to the point for them. So they can just get by that minefield unscathed. They're going to get a chance to shoot a lot of them down by the time they come back in. I always like to pop minefield in the air of the area that I'm trying to cut off. So swinging up in the air over the area that you want to minefield, pressing Q, and then pile driving on top of it is a really effective way to use it, because there's a delay from when the minefield is popped to when the mines are armed. And so if you pop Q up in the air and then pile drive down, by the time that the enemy team goes up in the air and back down from the pile drive, those mines are going to be active.
On Doom. Doom's away. Now Winston Monkey. Watch for the C9.
Really good chase down there. Really good.
Doom's away. Now Winston Monkey.
Good pile drive. Good follow up.
Watch for C9.
No, there's no need to watch for C9 really. Like, they've got 19 seconds and there isn't a flank route they're gonna take back there. I like the forward challenge here.
Where's their team? Do they have an AFK?
No, they didn't have an AFK. They just had they entered that fight 5v6 and then lost some, and then the hog was
I
staggering.
think so. They just got staggered.
Yeah, there it is.
I haven't seen the break for ages. Grabbing, get ready for grab. Oh no, that was a bad grab.
No, that grab.
I'm on the, let's hit the Doom in the back. Let's hit the Doom. Doom, right side Doom. I'm on Doom. Big one. Doom.
So have to learn how to like shorten our ball rope if we want to do that maneuver.
Hog and on the hog. He's low. Okay, get the.
Good.
Okay.
Nice hold.
So that hold was a lot more nerve-wracking than it needed to be.
Grabbing, get ready for grab. Oh no, that was a bad. Grabbing, get ready for.
So like here is like where would be a good chance to do the minefield if we had it. Like mining it in this area, swinging up, pile driving.
Grabbing, get ready for grab.
Or there.
Oh no, that was a bad grab.
But we do eventually get it.
I'm on the, let's hit the Doom in the back. Let's hit the Doom. Doom, right side Doom. I'm on Doom.
Okay, every cooldown here I'm looking for that pile driver. Just using the payload to get it off.
Doom.
Good, we got a minefield back. Okay.
I'm on hog and on the hog.
So a little bit more nerve-wracking of a hold than it needed to be, due to the grab not landing much. But we hold. Good slam.
Nice hold.
Nice.
That's one of the weirdest games I've played.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's.
like it wasn't really.
1 second.
pretty much throwing shit at each other at a choke than it was like random engages.
You wanna do
Is this our? Is this our goats comp right now?
Yeah, we can play goats.
Okay.
We're goating? Okay.
We have the no. I mean, what I mean is we have all our players for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandra plays, Zyger plays Zarya, and then Prodigy plays Lucy.
When we push it, we should all just rush left side.
Far left or right?
Yeah.
Into the building, and like onto point.
Left side.
I wouldn't even say you would need to go into building. That's more
No, you really don't. That's less direct.
obstructive.
Yeah.
And you could. That's basically putting yourself in the funnel anyway. So.
Alright.
So
Although I will say, don't go out top right exit here.
okay, so should we go right and then right in the?
Right here and then left through main.
Okay, not in the building. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And if the Rhine starts swinging at us, we just know them.
Did we just fucking kill the Rhine for swinging at
Right.
us?
Right,
I'll
so
boost like right before the bridge.
Alright, let's see how they run this goats.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
oh, they didn't care about us. Keep going.
Okay.
I got you.
Ryan.
Run.
Behind us, Ryan. Flaps on Ryan. All hit Ryan. Run. Zarya.
Sorry. Then. Nice.
Ryan behind now. Ryan
Soldier.
Right is behind.
Run.
Just hold point.
On a soldier, main. Soldier low. Ana's in the corner by the gate.
It's fine. Oh, Soldier's going on point.
Good job.
No.
Going on point, Soldier. Zarya.
Okay, not too bad. Little all over the
just know
place.
We just fucking killed the
That's
Ryan.
the whole
Just swing
team,
Ryan.
not our Ryan.
Right,
I'll
so
boost like right before the bridge.
Watch this again.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so first comment, if the plan is to go left here, then I don't necessarily know why we needed to come right here, because by going this way, we're increasing our travel distance and exposure than if we say went up through here and then speed boosted around that corner. This is going to make the transition longer, which opens it up to players getting left behind, opens it up to getting picked off by a hog, hook coming in, or an anti-nade. So when you're running goats, always try and, I worked with this with ultraviolets on Horizon on attacking point A. There was one push where we started out on the left side and then went across to go up the staircase on the right side, but in doing so we just got nailed by Orisa halts and Junkrat mines and anti-nades because it just increased our exposure. So with goats, always take the path that minimizes the angles of exposure.
oh, they didn't care about us. Keep going.
Okay. Ryan.
So
Run.
my general rule of thumb is to never charge in goats because you're not getting as much value with a charge as you are with your other abilities, blocking something like an incoming anti-nade or just swinging your hammer for that fast shatter. I just swing at him there, and then because that had the other thing is that charge knocks targets away, and as goats you want to You want to be stacked up and focusing down the single same target within melee range. So if there's a Rhine that's like out of position here, and we have the opportunity to capitalize with our goats comp by having all of these people take out the Rhine, just swing your hammer. Don't take the risk of a charge booping him away like it does here, or any other target.
Ryan, behind us, Ryan. Flaps on Ryan. All hit Ryan. All hit Ryan. Zarya. Ryan behind now. Ryan.
Ryan is behind.
Run.
Just hold point.
Man, we're lucky that that Ana didn't land a lot of anti-nades.
Ryan. Behind us, Ryan. Flaps on Ryan.
Because no one was really paying attention to the Ana.
All hit Ryan.
She just has free sightlines and shots in here.
Zarya. Ryan behind now.
Ryan is behind.
If we got hit by an anti-nade, that could have been a very different fight.
Just hold point. It's fine. Oh, soldier.
But
going
we
on
got
point,
it.
soldier's going on point.
Good job.
Props to the guy calling out focus targets. Very necessary.
Alrighty. Let's push up.
That was clean.
Alright. I'll rally for next one.
So we can keep this comp moving forward. But I'm looking to swap dive
Just
if it
push the
stalls.
cart, and when they go to contest, we collapse. Zarya, right side, right. Zarya.
So we let them walk all over us here.
Just push the cart. And
So I think of this, like, I mean, it's Eichenwald, so it's similar to King's Row, and then it's a hybrid map.
Right.
So once we take,
Ana's in the corner by the gate.
it's fine. Oh, soldier's going on point.
once we take,
Good job.
leave Diva on cart, and push up, like push everyone up here, except for Diva. Let Diva solo push the cart at least until the gate. But so that we killed everyone except that Hanzo, who just like wall climbed
It's
over
fine.
there.
Oh, soldier's going on point.
Good job.
And they have a soldier coming back from spawn. Speed into those guys.
No.
Take him out for having the gall to like come almost all the way back to point here,
Alrighty.
without their
Let's
tank,
push up.
without their Ana.
That was clean.
Alright.
Keep
I'll
going.
rally for
Like
next one.
instead, we just kind of like all stack on cart.
Just push the cart, and when they go to
And
contest,
again, we're giving them all sorts of space. We're giving them everything up here, everything here, and look how early they recontest this compared to like where we contested on our defense. Like they're already here.
Zarya, right side, right. Zarya. Zarya.
But we can be speeding up here. Before we could have sped up there and picked off a Hanzo or a soldier there. You could have sped up through here and take some space. Take advantage of the odd man advantage.
Zarya, right side, right. Zarya.
Okay. They burned also. Back out.
But yeah, anyway.
Don't
They
have
did
that.
burn ults, they used Shatter.
We just want to go in, regroup fast, and go back in. Straight back in.
We should switch to dive here right now.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so I have to get off heals then.
Okay.
We have Shatter. I mean,
No, it's not gonna work. We can't get any ground on them. I don't think.
Should I switch out Zarya?
yeah, swap out Zarya, I guess, for like NG or whatever.
So
the-
this swap is
but-
taking way too long.
Zarya is fine in my opinion.
Alright, no. One more push is this. Get your ults. Alright, one more push is this.
Well, we lost our Moira, by the way, so. I know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, break his shell, I'm gonna go for an ult. He's on high ground.
He's on your own. Yeah, I'm dead.
He's jumping down, kill him. He's jumping down.
You still have no main healer, care.
No, back out.
You have no healers.
So not a ton of value out of that Shatter.
Anyway. Whatever that what you want want to play.
I don't know, the Zarya is fine in my opinion.
Alright, no. One more push to this. Get your ults. Alright, one more push to this.
Well, we lost our Moira, by the way, so. I know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, break his shield, I'm gonna go for an ult. He's on high ground.
Oh, he's on the ground. Yeah, I'm dead.
So when you hear that visor going off, like we know we saw the soldier here coming in. And I know that we're looking for
Yeah,
Shatter.
break his shield, I'm gonna go for an ult.
When we hear that Shatter go off, we need to be ready to peel. You know, leap back and get a shield in front of our
He's on
team.
high ground.
Oh, he's on.
Instead, we look to use a Shatter here. Their soldier is visoring. We just let their Brigitte,
Shield, I'm gonna go for
their Rhine, and their Zarya, just like all three of them, go back and fuck with our team.
an
As
ult.
well as the ulting soldier. Look, they just like walk through.
He's on high ground.
Oh, he's on the ground. Yeah.
And then we go this way. This is so Lucio's asleep anyway. No real need to shatter him.
I'm dead.
He's jumping down. He's on high ground.
Oh, he's on the ground. Yeah, I'm dead.
He's jumping down, kill him.
And the price that we paid to like get that shatter off and get the 2 kills that we did was the rest of our team.
Kill him. Kill him, he's jumping down.
So not only did we not get a lot of value out of it because it was late, because it came after a lot of our teammates died, but it only really got the Ana.
He's jumping down, kill him. Kill him, he's jumping down.
Still no main healer. Care.
No, back out.
You have no healers.
Yeah, swap, full swap.
So okay,
Let's play
good.
dive, we can dive the soldier
I
on
like
top.
the swap.
Dive-wise, is soldier fine?
Just play, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
It's fine. We have one non-dive DPS.
Oh, yeah, as long as we have one. These 3 of us can go after the soldier on high ground. So,
Okay, yep. So now I like the swap to dive. I like the idea
Okay.
of taking that high ground
Yeah,
control.
Alright.
Take the space on ramparts, and then identify. It's really important to identify or to find the places of the map that you want to control, the high ground places of the map you want to control. Here is one really good one because from there you can see everything that's happening back towards bridge. You can see everything that's happening down here. So it's a really good place to control because it prevents, like, you know, an enemy soldier, enemy anything from just getting free shots down on our team as we're trying to push payload. But it also gives us the opportunity to identify enemy positions and find the target that's worth diving.
And when soldier peeks, we're gonna get him.
So
Soldier's on low ground.
We're purple. Hold dive.
I'm gonna split from their team. She's in the castle. Second floor.
Alright, I'm going up on 2nd floor.
Nice. I'm one.
and see, so that was one of the
Alright, I'm
downsides
going up on 2nd floor.
of what we were just doing there, is that we're gonna eat a lot of damage that we don't need to.
And when soldier peeks, we're gonna get him. Soldier's on low.
Like when we're down low, we are more liable to risk getting hit by things like anti-nades
ground.
We're purple. Hold dive.
or Zarya beams. We should never just be, as dive tanks, we should never just like be in poke range of a Zarya beam.
She's in the castle. Second floor.
You know, we might.
Alright, I'm going up on 2nd floor.
Castle. Second floor.
And where was the Hanzo?
Split from their team.
Okay, back there.
She's in the castle. Second floor.
Alright, I'm going up on 2nd floor.
Nice.
And I think that we missed our jump. I think we were trying to go 2nd floor.
She's in the castle. Second floor.
Alright, I'm going up on 2nd floor.
So I think they're going up on 2nd floor. I think some people were calling this 2nd floor. I was thinking that this is 2nd floor. So just being clear with the geographical callouts as a team, you know, call this 1st floor, call this 2nd floor, and call that basement. Is how I would recommend it.
Nice.
So we tried to go second floor.
Up on second
We
floor.
missed our jump. And then we're right there. So the Rhine takes advantage that we don't have our leap and just walks forward on us.
Hanzo is low.
Oh,
But this is good. We got our guys up in position up there. Somehow. Our D.Va took those
Ryan
positions.
up top.
Oh, behind cover.
Oh no. Shit.
Out, out,
I got
out,
the
out,
soldier.
out, out,
Soldier's
out.
down.
No, no, no. Out, out,
No, we're
out.
down on us, so it's gonna be rough.
Come back with we can handle blade.
Yeah, just chill here. Control
We
this
have
high
time advantage.
space.
Oh yeah, I'm diving the soldier with you, Genji. Let's get the Hanzo, let's get the Hanzo, get
Good.
the Hanzo. He's
Flush
low
them
in
off
bubble,
high
low in
ground.
bubble. Hanzo left side in the wall.
We gave it up a little bit too much there to come down to point.
I'll let them use their ulti.
Swan advantage.
So there's a lot going on here. Let's try and parse it out.
Oh yeah, I'm diving the. I got the soldier. Soldier's down. Oh no, we're down on us, so it's gonna be rough.
Come back with we can handle blade.
I don't think we burn bubble there. So that's like one of the biggest things about Winston is realizing how long the cooldown on bubble is.
Shit.
And it's like very tempting to just drop
I
it
got the
whenever you
soldier.
have it.
Soldier's down.
But you need to save the bubble,
Oh no, we're down
which
on
is
us,
on
so
a longish cooldown.
Come back with
Like you're full health here, right? And so you bubble.
Oh, thanks. She's in the castle. Second floor.
I went too far back.
Oh no, we're down on us, so it's gonna
So
be
you're
rough.
full health and you bubble to stop damage coming in from Ana.
We can handle blade.
But you could have, like here, you're already out of range of Ana, so just no value out of that bubble there.
Yeah, we have Swan advantage.
Because if you had bubble, then you can stay on that high ground when the soldier comes to contest you,
Yeah, we have Swan advantage.
and force him back. Like if you had bubble here, then you could have dropped a bubble and bubble danced the soldier, and not conceded this ground to him.
Oh yeah, I'm diving the soldier with you, Genji. Let's get the Hanzo, let's get the Hanzo, get Hanzo. He's low in the bubble, low in the bubble, low in the bubble. Hanzo left side in the wall. Hanzo low
Dash
left
up into
side
the
wall.
air. I'll let them use their ulti. Let them use their ultis. No ultis.
So I think that whole fight just kind of came down to conceding
Yeah, we can
ground
end it
we
here.
didn't need to
And then we're gonna
concede,
They're on his
and then
respawn.
not having the cooldowns
We lost Genji,
to
so
be
we can't-
used effectively when we needed them.
Yeah, Spiff. Speed boost made to the.
I think we're
Ready?
spending too much time on engagements. Okay, dive high ground now, dive high ground now, dive high ground now.
Go, 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 go.
Yep,
go.
yep, go, go, go.
Get the soldier, get the soldier, get the soldier, get the soldier.
Okay, good,
Dive
good,
the
good,
Ana,
good,
dive the
good.
Ana, dive the Ana, you got it. Yeah, let's dive the Ana, dive the Ana, dive the Ana.
So see how this like opened up so many more opportunities when we had a
High ground
good
now, high
coordinated
ground now.
dive and
Get the
control
soldier,
of the
get the
high
soldier,
ground.
Get the soldier, get the soldier.
That's a
We can
good
dive the Ana,
bubble.
dive the Ana, you got it.
And then all of a sudden we have our D.Va, our Genji, and our Winston in position. We separated their team, so we've got squishies back here that are far away from their tanks. Their tanks are relatively immobile with the exception of the Reinhardt charge, so they can't peel as
We can
well.
dive the Ana, dive the Ana, dive the Ana, you got it. Yeah, let's dive the Ana, dive the Ana, dive the Ana, dive the Ana. Ana back here on the bridge. Ana's on the bridge in the very back. Ana's on the bridge in the very back.
Winston there, I think, has to go with them.
Ana. We can dive the Ana, dive the Ana, dive the Ana, you got it. Yeah, let's
So you want to follow, you want to lead in, you want to follow, well, you want to lead your D.Va primarily, and you want D.Va to kind of come in behind you with the Matrix. But in this case, because the D.Va went first, you want to follow. You have a jump, and your Genji and your D.Va went in against some squishy targets, separate from the tanks. So go with them.
dive the Ana, dive
Give
the
them
Ana,
support.
dive the Ana. Ana back here on the bridge. Ana's on the bridge in the very back. Ana's on the bridge in the very back.
Yeah, we have to push.
Get the Zarya, Zarya 1, Zarya 1, Zarya, Zarya. Monkey, monkey, monkey.
Like I don't think I think if our diva or if our Winston
We
goes
can
with
dive the
them
Ana,
there,
dive the Ana, and you got
it lowers
Yes,
the
dive the Ana, dive
chance
the Ana,
that our
dive the Ana,
diva
dive the
and
Ana.
our
Ana's
Genji
back
get
here on the
picked
bridge.
off
Ana's
there.
on the bridge in the very back. Ana's on the bridge in the very back.
We have to push.
Get the Zarya, Zarya 1, Zarya 1, Zarya, Zarya. Monkey, monkey, monkey. Soldier. Someone push the cart. Ana, push the cart.
cart. They're on me though.
Hanzo.
Clear cart.
Hanzo up top.
Kill this Ryan, kill this Ryan, kill this Ryan. Ryan,
Another
kill the
The
Ryan.
brig's off.
Let's drop that one, soldier.
probably could have saved the bubble that we used there.
Get this Ana.
There's Zarya behind you, kill the Zarya. Just kill the Zarya. Winston, monkey, kill the Zarya.
How did this Zarya come back already?
The brig's off.
Kill this Ryan, kill this Ryan.
Was it that long ago that we killed their
We have to
Zarya?
push.
Get the Zarya, Zarya 1, Zarya 1, Zarya, Zarya. Monkey, monkey.
Yeah, I guess.
Soldier. Someone push the cart. Ana, push the cart.
They're on me though.
Clear cart, clear cart.
Hanzo up top.
So don't need the bubble there.
Kill this Ryan, kill this Ryan, kill this Ryan. Ryan. Kill the
The
Ryan.
brig's off.
Let's drop that one, soldier. Soldier.
Winnable.
Get this Ana.
There's Zarya behind you, kill the Zarya. Just kill the Zarya. Winston, monkey, kill the Zarya.
We got Reaper.
Come back from spawn.
And then
Where's
just
our Ana? Where's our Ana?
we just lost our vision there.
Winston, monkey, kill the Zarya.
We got Reaper.
Come back from spawn.
Where's our Ana? Where's our Ana?
Right here.
Ah, the Zarya was one.
Miracle of science.
The Ryan is up top.
There's Ryan on top.
You're Ryan.
Okay, wait up.
Yeah, Ryan's on the bridge. The high ground bridge. I'm on Reaper.
We're gonna nano visor soon. Just get on top of the bridge. Or
Yeah,
wherever.
yeah, watch out for Ryan, he's still on the bridge. He's gonna go for a shatter on the cart.
Coming on top.
Yeah, Ryan drop. Let's start pushing cart now, I got bomb. I'm gonna go for a bomb. Zarya 1. Ana 1. Ryan's on the
Sorry, I
bridge.
got distracted by some chat, so I'm gonna go back to the start of this.
Through the miracle of science.
The Ryan is up top.
There's Ryan on top.
You're Ryan.
Okay, wait up.
Yeah, Ryan's on the bridge. The high ground bridge. I'm on Reaper.
We're gonna nano visor soon. get on top of the bridge. Or
Yeah,
wherever.
yeah, watch out for Ryan. He's still on the bridge. He's gonna go for a shatter on the cart.
I'm on top.
Dude, run drop. Let's start pushing cart now. I got bomb. I'm gonna go for a bomb. Sorry one. On a one.
Reaper behind, Reaper behind, Reaper behind.
Again, sorry, I'm distracted. I just got some messages about NYU. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that stuff later. I'm gonna focus on the
Rhine is up
VOD.
top.
There's Ryan on top.
Plenty of time, plenty of time.
Okay, wait up.
Yeah, Ryan's on the bridge, the high ground bridge. I'm on Reaper.
We're gonna nano visor soon. Just get on top of the bridge. Or
Yeah,
wherever.
yeah, watch out for Ryan. He's still on the bridge.
Clear the bridge.
He's gonna go for a shatter on the cart.
For the
I'm
nano
not-
visor.
Dude, run drop. Let's start pushing cart now. I got bomb. I'm gonna go for a bomb. Sorry one.
Big
On
visor.
a one.
Reaper behind, Reaper behind, Reaper behind.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, we got
Nice
that.
visor.
Both.
Big visor. So that was really good.
Watch out for Ryan.
Clearing the high ground space to allow our soldier to get in position.
I'm on Reaper.
We're gonna nano visor soon. Just get on top
Right,
of the bridge.
we
Yeah,
flush.
yeah, watch out for Ryan. He's
So
still on the
Ryan's
bridge.
doing his
He's
best
gonna
to
go for a
not
shatter
let
on the
allow
cart.
anyone up there.
I'm on top.
But
Yeah,
then with our challenge, with our
Ryan drop.
Doomfist, we
Let's
get the
start
Ryan
pushing
knocked down. So
cart now. I
now
got bomb. I'm
our soldier's up there, free
gonna
visor.
go for a bomb.
So that was a really good idea to clear that bridge, to get us in
Sorry
position,
one.
and then we
On a
can
one,
contest
on a
payload,
one.
disrupts
Reaper behind,
them,
Reaper behind, Reaper behind.
lets the visor get a lot of
Yeah, we got
value.
Nice visor.
both.
Okay, done.
Nice.
Plug the door, plug both doors. They're not gonna contest now.
Kill Zarya. Right side Zarya.
It looked like they were trying, maybe.
Push them in. It's 6v5.
Yeah, get on Anna.
Yeah, I'm on Ana.
Briggs one.
On a one in the little hole.
Okay, just chill.
Keep 3 on cart.
Hit the Zarya. Zarya's overextended. Hit Zarya.
Sorry.
Zarya.
Wow, that Ryan got another shatter quick.
Regroup. Kill the Ryan. Regroup.
Okay, good patience to not use primal for a lost fight. I like that.
They're over here.
Yeah, so they're really only gonna have Reaper ult.
Oh, nice move.
That's
On your heals. I
It's a
got
nice
the-
pick.
Soldier on
I
the left.
died.
Mm. So I don't like the bubble there per
Almost
se.
got Mac in 3.
That's a really bad. So like there's no reason to be. Like we shouldn't have to use our bubble there to protect our junk and our Lucio. Our junk should be able to lob in grenades here without peeking.
I almost got Mac.
Our Lucio has no business dying there.
Kill this
Like
Ryan.
goes in front of
Almost
the
got
bubble.
Mac in 3.
Like we really shouldn't be peeking before we're going to contest and fight this out anyway. That's just a concession of ult charge. But then to get picked even when we did use a bubble
I need
there
that touch.
is bad news.
Yeah,
Got bomb. I'm gonna be.
one of the tanks just be ready to
Push
touch.
cart. Focus Zarya. Zarya on cart. Hit the Zarya on the cart. Hit Zarya 1. Reaper's left. Reaper on cart. Help with Reaper on cart. Ryan 1.
Reaper no fade. Reaper.
Ryan 1. Reaper.
So we kind of went into a bad position with
Reaper's left on cart. Hit the Zarya.
our primal.
I'm gonna be.
One of the tanks just be ready to
Push
touch.
cart. Focus Zarya. Zarya on cart. Hit the Zarya on the cart. Hit Zarya 1.
May have been a little early on it.
Reaper's left. Reaper on cart. Help with Reaper on cart. Run one, run one, run one, run one, run one.
But our focus is kind of all over the place here.
Run one.
With the primal, we're
Reaper's
focusing a
left.
lot of
Cart,
different
Zarya, Hit
targets.
the Zarya on the cart. Hit Zarya, Zarya one, Zarya one. Reaper's left, Reaper's left. The Reaper on cart, help with Reaper on cart.
And then we go for Brigitte.
Reaper on cart.
How did we get deleted?
Run,
Yeah.
run.
So we
Reaper's
just
left.
let the soldier was
Zarya on
just
the cart.
deleting us this
Hit
whole
Zarya,
time.
Zarya one, Zarya one. Reaper's left, Reaper's left. The Reaper on cart, help with Reaper on cart. Run one.
So all it took was that shield bash. But we didn't want to be in that alley anyway.
Run.
Did we eat 2 anti-nades too?
Reaper on cart. Run one.
No, just the one.
Run one. Reaper.
He's ulti up.
With a primal in this situation, we want to use it to
Push cart, focus Zarya.
stall
Zarya on
out
cart,
the
Zarya on
fight.
cart. Hit the Zarya on the cart. Hit Zarya one, Zarya one.
And then here, so here we don't want to necessarily like go for killing targets. I see like we really try hard to kill the Ana, and then we go for Brigitte. But we're gonna get a lot more value out of this primal in this situation if we kind of stay closer to point, and we're clearing them away from point to give our team more space.
Help with Reaper on cart. Run one.
Like the Reaper,
Run one. Reaper.
Ryan had come back to point.
He's ulti up.
I think that we got a little bit separated from our team when we didn't need to with that primal. That's unfortunate.
Close game.
Honestly, I think we just needed to. We were winning fights. They were just really good about on how they engaged fights and whatnot. I think we just needed.
Close game.
Honestly,
So my main takeaway is just
He's ulti up.
run one. Reaper.
understanding the utility
Run one.
of space and the danger of giving it up.
Reaper on cart. Reaper's left.
With Reinhardt on defense, I felt that we conceded a lot of space. We meaning Reinhardt here, our main tank here, that we didn't need to. That we could have been more aggressive in not giving them the space that they were taking. And then there were flashes when we swapped a dive on attack of like a good understanding of getting set up in high ground and contesting that high ground, getting ourselves in position. But it wasn't consistent.
Zarya one.
Other things I think we can work on the hop shields with Ryan, and also understanding the utility of the Winston bubble cooldown. Making sure that those,
He's ulti up.
just like how, you know, we want to get value out of every ultimate that we use. Hang on. You know, when we use ultimates, we want to get value out of our ultimates. But the same thing is with our cooldowns. We want to get value with our cooldowns, with our jump. We want to make sure that we're getting to the right place, we're using it at the right time, and especially with our Winston bubble, because this cooldown is really long. Jump cooldown is short. I think it's like 4 or 5 seconds. The bubble cooldown, I believe, is 12 seconds. I can confirm. Winston bubble cooldown. This is something I should know off heart, but I think it's 12 seconds. Where are you, bubble? 13 seconds. I was off by 1 second. 13 seconds. So that's a really like long cooldown every 13 seconds. And so I saw on our attack is dive that we used our shields in situations that they weren't getting a lot of value, and then we didn't have the shield available at times when we would have gotten more value. The best example I have is on the point B attack.
Get this on.
Alright, I'm moving. They're on me though.
Hands
Clear
up.
cart, clear cart.
Was
Spending too
it?
much time on engagements. Soldier, get the soldier, get the soldier.
Or was it the fight before this?
Yeah, we have Swan advantage.
Right here. Yep.
The burrito.
I got the soldier. Soldier's down. Oh, no, we're down Ana, so it's gonna be rough.
Come back with the.
It's right there. So like this is just like the
Oh, no,
best
we're down
example.
Ana, so it's gonna be rough.
Full health,
Come back with,
using a shield to just stop one Ana dart from hitting
You can
us.
handle blade.
And here we are, so good. We
have
still
Swan
want to
advantage.
keep this high ground controlled. But now when their soldier comes to contest us, we don't have a shield to use. If we had the bubble to use here, then we can shield dance and get that soldier to back off, and then we get to control this. And instead we have to drop because we don't have that. And then look what
Yeah, I'm batting the
happens
soldier with you, Genji.
on
Let's
this.
get the Hanzo, get Hanzo. He's low, no
Set the
bubble,
right,
low, no
set the
bubble,
right.
low, no bubble.
And we jump back up, but then we forget about.
Let's get the Hanzo, let's get the Hanzo.
So someone says target Hanzo.
Hanzo, get Hanzo. He's low, no bubble.
So maybe the
low, no bubble.
DPS can target the Hanzo, but here I think like as a tank,
With you, Genji. Let's get the Hanzo, get Hanzo. He's
you don't need to chase the kill on Hanzo, especially if your diva is
oh, yeah, I'm batting the
already
soldier
went to
with you,
chase
Genji.
that kill,
Let's get the Hanzo, get
and your Genji went to chase that kill, and you recognize that there's still a soldier up here on high ground. You saw Hanzo jump, but soldier's still there. You
Yeah,
see
let's
your
get the
diva and Genji
Hanzo,
go
get
for the Hanzo,
Hanzo. He's low, no
and instead of staying up here, now with shield to contest this soldier and flush him out, because this is a really good spot for him. He gets to shoot at everyone.
Set the right,
bubble,
set the right.
low, no bubble. Hanzo
We
left
drop
side,
down, you shield there,
Positions in the air.
and then our soldier gets kills all soldier, and then
Penalties.
gets a big visor off. He was basically free to
we can
shoot,
run
build
away.
that visor, and use that visor.
Their Ana's respawned now. Oh wait.
So, yeah, I think playing more aggressively with Ryan in terms of taking space, and then cooldown management with Winston, and identifying like the important positions of maps that you want to be in position from to engage fights.
Wait. We lost Genji, so we can.
Yeah.
Ana, dive down. Soldier. The Zarya was one on the bridge.
Okay, I'm going to grab some water, and then I'm going to do the next map.
Ryan one.
Be right back. Okay.
Run. For next game.
was November 3rd. Offended, felt so offended that
Yeah.
also.
When
Alright,
we
where
went
is this
goats,
next
like we were
map?
able to just
Just call out
carrying them.
targets. We just do it.
Point. Like when he says wait, we're not really waiting that long. We're
Yeah,
waiting. 30 seconds.
go left side. Go left side.
One go under.
Basically,
No.
Like since we're walking longer, naturally they're gonna be on point first. So, like just
down here,
save
down
your
here,
amp.
to the left. And then we're gonna boost into them.
Alright, they're already on point, you know. So amp us in. Amp us in. Hey, Ryan. Ryan's on me. Hit the Ryan. Zarya.
Alright, get back with your team.
Zarya's in the middle of
I'm
us.
split from you
Zarya's in the middle of
guys.
us.
I'm split from you guys.
Zarya's in the middle of us. We're split. We're gonna get the Zarya.
Just play it out. It's winnable.
Yeah. Jump. Right side, soldier. Soldier in the back. Where you're facing. To the right, soldier. And forward, in front of you guys.
Ah, shield that trap.
Nice job.
Soldier. And forward, in front of you guys. Where you're facing.
I
To
think
the
Ryan got
right,
booped.
Soldier. And forward, in front of
Yeah,
you guys.
Ryan got booped away from shielding the trap target.
Nice job.
Soldier. Jump.
Yeah, catch him out.
Jump. Soldier. Right, soldier. Sorry.
Okay, let's run this back a little bit.
And then we're gonna boost into them.
Alright, they're already on point, you know. So amp us in. Hey, Ryan. Ryan's on me. Hit the Ryan. Zarya.
Okay, so we got booped away because of the Ryan charge.
Zarya.
Then we get a good pin coming
Middle
back.
Split from you
Zarya's in the
guys.
middle of us.
I'm split from you guys.
Zarya's
Yeah,
in the middle of us.
and I feel like the rest of the team gets really split here.
Amp us in. Hey, Ryan. Ryan's on me. Hit the Ryan. Zarya.
So we've got some people down there, and now our Ryan's back up here.
Zarya.
So we're a little
Zarya's in the middle
split,
of us.
which is
Zarya's in the middle of
unfortunate.
us.
I'm split from you guys.
Zarya's in the middle of us. We're split. We're gonna get the Zarya.
Just play it out. It's winnable.
Yeah. Jump. Right side, soldier.
Okay, so
Soldier in the
good.
back.
Someone finish off that Ryan.
Just play it
Ryan
out.
was
It's
the
winnable.
right call here.
Jump.
Junk was not the right call.
Just
Ryan
play it
was
out,
the
it's
right
one-
call because he's out of position.
Jump.
Goats, you always punish the out of position hero.
Jump. Right side, soldier. Soldier in the back. Where you're facing. To the right, soldier. And forward, in front of you guys.
Nice job.
Soldier.
So Ryan, I think Ryan and Zarya need to be leading the calls
soldier.
here.
Soldier. Jump.
Yeah, catch him out.
Jump. Never mind.
Like generally when I am trying to teach
Really?
goats to teams that are, trying to improve their goats who are relatively new to the comp, I have a general rule of thumb of number one, gluing your ass to Reinhardt, and number two, killing whatever he's killing. And obviously there are variations in any fight and composition, but that's a good rule of thumb to glue yourself to Ryan and kill what he's swinging at. And that helps keep the group target focused, and it helps keep the group together to take advantage of the Lucio and the Moira heals and speed boosts. So generally, I all for people making out different target calls if they recognize someone's out of position, and then swapping the attention of the entire team to capitalize on that out of position hero. But as a rule of thumb, your default should always be to kill what Ryan's killing and stick
Yeah, where are we?
on his
We're all
ass.
here?
Hide on the side.
No, this is hide right here next to the run.
Yeah,
Our
we
run.
want to rally.
Alright, I'm gonna do it as the answer.
Rally now.
Okay.
He's charging. Let's go.
Nice beat.
Ryan. No, not Ryan. Ignore Ryan.
Let the Ryan go.
Go to
The beat was early,
Let's go, let's go.
Nope, never mind. The beat was good for
Nice
the
let's
shatter.
go.
I'm not sure how many people actually got shattered here.
Alright, I'm gonna do it as the answer.
Rally now. He's charging, he's charging.
There's not a lot of for the entire team. There's not a lot of talk in between fights of ultimates that they might have.
Let's go, let's go.
The fact that their Rhine
Right
already
on the
has
side.
shatter
No, this is hide right here next to the run.
Yeah,
Our
we
run.
want to rally. We
is
want to
something that we should generally
Alright,
know.
I'm gonna do it as the answer.
Rally now. He's charging, he's charging. Let's go, let's go.
So that we can be aware of that.
Nice beat. Nice beat.
Ryan. No, not Ryan. Ignore Ryan.
Let the Ryan go.
Ryan. Go to Reaper one.
Zarya.
Call them out.
Zarya.
Okay,
Zarya's one.
they're using literally everything.
So yeah, they used 3 ults, so no more ults.
Why did you get
We can win. Zarya's one on the right side of the point. Right side of the point.
He has another shatter.
So they just chill, just hide around point.
Yeah,
That Rhine was given a lot of
Hide on the
space.
side.
No, this
To
is
just
hide
do
right
what
here
he
next to the run.
wants.
Yeah,
Our
we
run.
want to rally.
That's something that we want our Rhine to be doing.
Alright, I'm gonna do
Especially
it
in
as the
Goat's
answer.
Comp.
Rally now. He's charging. Let's go.
Nice beat.
Ryan.
So
No,
we're
not
up
Ryan.
one.
Ignore Ryan.
Let the Ryan go.
Ryan. Go to Reaper.
Now we're down one.
Reaper one.
Zarya.
Call them out.
Zarya.
Okay,
Zarya's one.
they're using literally everything.
Tied down 2.
Stall is why did you get
We can win. Zarya's one.
No, we can't win. We're down 2 and now we're down
Every
Diva Mech.
they had.
We can win. Oh, never mind.
They used so much to get that. We're in a really good position.
Okay, we just take it right back.
We have 3 ultis coming up.
They have literally nothing.
Group up.
I don't think. They might have Death Blossom.
You guys wanna go under? Wrap around them?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap around them.
Just keep the Reaper in mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna boost one of
Yep.
these.
Moment we
Okay,
emerge,
so I
let's-
like the
let's go.
idea to go out of the...
Zarya's not with us.
Right.
Alright, we're ready.
2, 1, boost.
On the jump. Jump's too close. Zarya.
Reaper's behind us still.
That shatter got blocked.
I keep an eye on Reaper.
Help Ryan.
Reaper and Ryan. Reaper.
Now we're really separated.
Reaper. Ryan one. Reaper.
This fight's already lost based on how separated everyone is.
Jump.
You guys wanna go?
Right side of the point.
Oops, I went too far
Nice
back.
beat.
We can win.
They used so much to get that. We're in a really good position.
Okay, we just take it.
So I like the call out here to go left and
They have
under,
literally
because it's going to minimize the exposure to Junk and Zarya spam.
nothing. They might have Death Blossom.
You guys wanna go under? Wrap around them?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap around them.
Just keep the Reaper in mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna boost one of
Yep.
these.
Moment we emerge, let's boost. Let's go.
Wait for Zarya. Zarya's not here.
Zarya's not with us.
Right.
Alright, wait.
Wait, where was the Zarya? The Zarya was...
2, 1, boost.
Zarya's not with us.
Yep. Moment we
She
emerge,
should have
let's
been.
boost. Let's go.
Wait for Zarya. Zarya's not here.
There's Zarya.
Zarya's not with us.
Right.
Alright, wait.
Emerge, let's
So
boost.
we definitely gave them too much time to adapt
Moment we
to
emerge,
this
let's boost.
rotation.
Let's go.
Wait for Zarya.
Like, so they see that we're coming in here and then we
Zarya's
hold up.
not with us.
They know that we're in
We're
there,
ready.
and they've already made an
2,
adjustment
1,
to focus this way.
boost.
On the jump.
And
Jump's too
then,
close.
so that gets...
Zarya.
Reaper's behind us still.
Yeah, I'm on.
So I generally like it to be a rule that can be broken in rare exceptions by of like no charging as a goat's Rhine.
On the jump. Jump's too close.
I can see, so it looked like a good shatter opportunity, but it's, and one thing to keep in mind is that Reinhardt is not the only thing that can block a shatter.
On the jump.
You want to make sure that that's Zarya, so she can see that shatter coming down. You want to make sure that she doesn't have that personal bubble, because she just soaks all of that.
Zarya.
And then we charge. We should not have charged,
Zarya.
Reaper's behind us still.
because all the charge has done is
Ready.
push
Two,
the enemy
one,
team
boost, boost,
away
boost.
from the rest of your team. And remember, this is a melee range comp. Like, you want to be right on top of whoever you're
On
killing.
the jump's too close. Jump's too close. Zarya.
And then here, so we knock Zarya back, we knock Reinhardt back, we knock Lucio
Reaper's
back,
behind us still.
and we've created a ton of distance between our goats comp and the enemy team
Too close.
when we
Jump's too
were
close.
just right on top of them.
Zarya.
Reaper's behind us still.
Yeah, I'm on.
And then we go this way instead of trying to regroup with our team.
I keep an eye on Reaper.
Help Ryan.
Reaper.
And then so now we've got 4 people up here still. And we've got Moira drop to help Ryan. And Ryan's over here. And this is like the death of goats, because now that they've put distance, now they have distance between the rest of the team and the goats comp, because of the Ryan charge that knocked them all away. And then our Ryan came down this way and got separated. This is exactly what the other team wants, is to pull apart and separate this composition.
Reaper and Ryan. Reaper.
And then their Ryan gets another shatter. He's now used 3 shatters in 2 fights.
Reaper.
And he's
Ryan,
gonna just delete the other team.
Reaper.
Delete our team.
Yeah, no, guys, we just left our Ryan out to dry there. We can't do that. We have to stick with the Ryan. That's the whole backwind of the comp. Come back. Brig, don't go in.
That's true. You have to stick with the Rhine, but it wasn't in this situation. I think the fact that the team was not sticking with the Rhine was more on our Rhine than on the team for that particular fight. With the way that charge separated himself from his team and separated their comp from our team.
Keep running.
Okay, we want to go straight forward so Reaper can't just hide on high ground, right? We want to go straight. Because he was just chilling on the high ground.
No. We have good ults. Don't go there. Don't. Yeah, go high ground.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I like this approach even better.
Yeah.
Yep, because it's going to get that Reaper off, and it's a lot harder for Junk to get up here.
Oh, this is good.
Kill the tire.
No, we good. Go in.
Alright, go in on Reaper. Focus Reaper.
There's a
I think
Ryan and a
Ryan
Zarya
kind of
behind you guys.
lost vision a little bit.
Zarya. Reaper.
Help Ryan.
Kill the Reaper. Reaper, guys.
This ulti.
Ryan builds another
Go
shatter.
in on Reaper.
Yeah, go high ground.
I'm sure.
Their Ryan should not be
High ground, force the Reaper off. Please.
able to just get so many uncontested swings off.
Yeah, get him.
Oh, this is good.
Kill the tire.
No,
Okay, so we
good.
beat,
Go
we
in,
save.
go in.
Okay, so now here, who are we going in on?
Go in on Reaper. Focus Reaper.
Where is the
Reaper,
Reaper?
focus Reaper.
So he's looking for Reaper.
Go in.
Alright, go in on Reaper.
But here, these are the 2 that you go for. Because they're the most out of position.
Focus Reaper.
There's a Ryan.
And like our Brigitte ends up going down there.
On Reaper. Focus Reaper.
And we've got the team chasing Reaper over here.
Focus Reaper.
Brig dies separate from the team.
There's a Ryan and a Zarya behind you guys.
Zarya. Reaper.
Help Ryan.
Kill the Reaper. Reaper, guys.
No, so I think too much focus on the Reaper.
Zarya.
Ryan is, Ryan here is now a good target. So again, I think you focus Ryan Zarya there on the initial entry.
On Reaper. Focus Reaper.
There's a Ryan and a Zarya behind you guys.
Don't focus Reaper until he's out of fade. Now, Ryan is really far out of position here. He's literally the only one over here. But now that we've lost our Brig and our Lucio, and we haven't gotten any picks of our own, this fight's lost no matter what happens now.
Reaper.
Help Ryan.
Kill the Reaper.
Their Ryan builds another shatter.
This ulti.
Touch point.
So yeah, what's the percentage at?
Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go.
It's unfortunate that it's this
Help Ryan, help Ryan, help Ryan, help
percentage
Ryan.
is this high.
Reaper, guys, Reaper.
So we're down 2, now we're down 3, they beat, we're down 4.
Touch point.
Alright,
You
let's go, let's go, let's go.
self-destruct to get mech back.
Literally just the Reaper counting them. This is really sad.
And then it's all just gonna be stagger for the rest of the map.
Oh, it's just me.
User grab, user grab.
Grab one point, grab one point, grab one
Reaper's
point.
one, Reaper's one. Oh,
Yeah, so I think that there was
User grab, user grab.
Grab one point, grab one point.
so the fight before this last
There's
fight,
a Ryan and a Zarya behind you guys.
definitely I think Ryan could have played that a lot better. Here I can't put too much blame on the Ryan because I think he was trying to, you know, focus the target that was being called out, and I just think that it was the wrong target to go for.
Oh, this is good, this is good.
kill the tire, kill the tire, kill the tire. Kill the tire.
No, we're good. Go in.
Alright, go in on.
So when you go in, you know, it has to be going in for a purpose with this composition. It has to be going in for a target.
Reaper, focus Reaper.
Reaper was not the right target. The out of position heroes down here who weren't in range of their Ana or in line of sight of their Ana, that's who you go for.
There's a Ryan and a Zarya behind you guys.
And then now the comp, so but even when we just dropped, we got separated right away.
Reaper, focus tire.
No, we're good. Go in.
Alright, go in on Reaper, focus Reaper.
Because they recognized that our Brig was out of place, and they punished it.
Go in on.
And I think Brig was out of place because when she fell from the grab,
Oh, this is good.
she fell on the outside. So Brig was going to drop down there anyway.
Kill the tire.
No, we're good. Go in.
And then you see they're already pushing on Brig right there. Because Brig dropped outside.
Go in on.
And instead of
Reaper.
peeling for our Brig and getting the out of place tanks,
Focus Reaper.
we decide to go for
Focus
There's a
Reaper,
Ryan and a Zarya behind you guys.
was already over here. So I think that's just a mistake of observing the appropriate
Go in on. Reaper, focus Reaper.
target and going after them, and then also peeling for your Brig.
Zarya behind you guys.
Zarya. Reaper.
Help Ryan.
And then the rest is of course just stagger.
Mechanically, we're better. It's just like they're better strategically.
Yes, okay. We're gonna do death ball here. I'm gonna go Lucio. So
Wait.
yeah, we're gonna have actual DPS here. So Prodigy, let me Lucio. Yeah, these are decent choices. We're gonna just go top left.
I would have stuck with a goats variation. If you're gonna run non-goats, I think Shrine was the better map to do that on.
Okay, they didn't. Stay on high ground.
But Village is very goatsy, May goatsy.
Yeah. Get the fires by ourselves. Yeah, we got Ana got picked.
How do we lose our Ana there?
Okay, they didn't. We're just gonna stay on high ground. We have their.
Yeah. Get the fires by ourselves.
So the Ana ate
Get the fires by ourselves.
2 shots from their Ana, and then Junkrat nade.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
we got Ana got picked. Yeah. Get the fires by ourselves.
So Ana kind of put herself in a
Yeah, we
place
got
to
Ana
get
got
hit by
picked.
their Ana.
That's okay.
What's our McCree doing down here? Oh no. He's dead.
Come back high ground.
I don't even have a pharmacy.
Okay, so if we're gonna wait for our Ana, which is fine, and perhaps, I mean, even advised, then don't just
don't even have
sit
pharmacy.
here and soak spam damage, right? And
Okay,
anti-nades.
back out, back out.
So that call to back out needs to come a lot sooner.
You have no sustain on here. Actually, just stay high ground. Just stay high ground.
I killed him. I need
But now
heals,
our Ana's back, so now we're
I'm
up.
coming from behind.
Come up the side, come up the side.
Heal me,
I see, I
heal
see.
me. They're down a jump. Let's take this fight.
Yep.
One is to the back right.
Yeah, go drop on point. Drop.
Good
Nice,
pin.
Nice pin, nice pin. Let's get on Ryan. Ryan's on me.
Yep, punish the Rhine for that. Punish him.
We're winning,
Nice.
we're winning.
Watch for Farah. Farah's above. Good. Let's take point.
Zarya's half on point.
No bad shatter.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
let's see what happens
Honest
to.
to the back right.
Yeah, go drop on point. Drop.
So we go in.
Nice pin.
There's our
Let's
Diva.
get on Ryan.
There's our Lucio.
Ryan's on me.
We're winning. We're winning.
Now we're up big.
Watch for Farah. Farah's above.
And then we're getting zoned out by their Pharah. So
Watch for Farah. Farah's above.
our backline didn't rotate
Good. Let's take
fast enough with our
Watch for
charging
Farah.
Rhine
Farah's
here.
above. They're down a jump. Let's take this fight. Honest
This
to
is
the
a fight where I would
right.
love to
Yeah,
have seen
go drop on point.
third
Drop.
person
Nice
view
pin,
just
nice
so I
pin.
could have
Let's get
identified
on
where
Ryan's on me.
We're
the
winning.
team is.
Watch for Farah. Farah's above.
Was our Ana on low ground over there and got picked?
Let's take
So this is just an objectively bad shatter, no matter what. You're the only one here, so you don't know that there's follow-up. There was no announcement that the shatter was going
Watch
off.
for Farah. Farah's above. Good. Let's take point.
So always announce when you're going to shatter no matter what, so that there's at least a higher
Watch
chance for
Farah.
follow-up.
Farah's above.
But this is just an objectively bad shatter because you don't want to pop it when you are at 41 HP and you are the only one capable of following up and you're not telling anybody.
Let's take point.
Because yeah, they just melt you before the animation even goes off, as is going to happen if you shatter at 40 health.
Zarya's half on point.
So the other team is ecstatic that they got that shatter out.
Okay, they're just stalling at this point.
Yeah,
Lucio
I
on
don't think
point,
they're
Lucio on
stalling,
point.
they're kind of
Yeah,
winning
Lucio.
this.
Zarya.
Yo, help. Good, Lucio. Zarya.
No, this is a reset.
Come on, Genji.
This is Luke.
Go. Mid.
Nice.
Good block.
Sorry, back.
Kill the Ryan. He's isolated. Ryan's isolated. Kill the Ryan. He's alone.
So what are we doing here?
Genji.
Okay, they're just stalling at this point.
I
Yeah,
feel
Lucio
like
on point. Lucio on point.
we, me, and our
Lucio.
Ryan is just kind of caught in between things
Help.
here. So here we should be regrouping entirely because we're down.
Lucio.
We're down our Lucio. We're down our McCree. So it's 4v6.
Help. Good, Lucio.
So we shouldn't be calling targets. Or not 4v6. 4v4 maybe at best. But the picks that we got early on them last fight are going to be getting back a lot sooner. We just had 2 people die.
Lucio.
So no,
Zarya.
we shouldn't really be calling targets
Zarya.
because like
Come on, Genji.
we're not really gonna get in there.
Luke.
We should be regrouping, waiting for our Lucio.
Go. Mid.
Nice.
So our Lucio comes back, beats us in. We get a good block on the shatter.
Nice.
Contract's already back.
Kill the Ryan. He's isolated. Ryan's isolated.
So I'm not the biggest fan of this charge here.
Go, go, go. Miss.
Nice.
I start swinging at that Rhine.
Go, go, go. Miss.
Nice.
Construction's already back.
Kill the Rhine, he's isolated, Rhine's isolated.
So our the Rhine is back there with our whole team. And our Rhine is this way.
Kill the Rhine. He's alone. Alright. Okay,
We're going to that.
Zarya. He's alone.
Our McCree dies up there to a Junkrat.
Kill the Rhine.
So our McCree really wasn't in position with his team. He kind of went far forward, high ground without his team.
He's alone. Alright. Okay.
Then we finally get the pick on the Reinhardt that was out of position. But by the time that out of position Rhine who came down here with the team was killed, we lost a McCree that was out of position and a Rhine that was kind of in no man's land.
The Rhine, he's isolated, Rhine's
Right, like, so what are we doing with Rhine here?
He's isolated, Rhine's isolated.
We're shielding not much of anyone because the entire team has gone back.
Kill the Rhine.
And we're going up against
He's alone.
multiple heroes. We get our barrier lost and then melted down by Zarya.
Alright.
So we just like died here shielding not much of anything. Not swinging it too much and just like losing health, feeding ult charge. So this comes down to, I think, playing with your head more on a swivel. I think that's one of the things too. I haven't seen the Reinhardt use the free barrier movement ability to look around a lot. He seems very tunnel visioned. So that's something that we can work on. Holding up shield, but then using the ability to look 360 degrees while shield is held. Like right here. Like you've got a shield up here. Okay, look behind you here.
He's isolated, Rhine's isolated.
Look behind you. And realize where your team is. A Rhine who doesn't, like, Rhine has to always know where he is in relation to his team. Because otherwise, there's no value in the Reinhardt.
Can we hit Zarya?
I mean, I think that's a general rule of thumb for tanks in general. For everyone in general, but especially important for tanks. To always know where they are in relation to their team. Wow, and there Zarya already built another grav, and now we're just trickling.
Okay, we're down on Rhine. This is dumb.
So we're down Rhine. Are we taking a lot of damage up there?
Can we hit Zarya?
Yes, we are.
Hit Zarya?
Taking a lot of damage there, waiting for Rhine.
We're literally just stalling.
So we give up a lot of ult charge just by standing at the choke doing nothing.
This is really sad. Like, we shouldn't have lost that. The jump was really bad too.
Wait, were any of us streaming?
Okay. So this is a good background. So I'm going to add some text boxes. Okay, so rule number 1 that we're going to work on is I'm gonna send Ho up here some videos too. Concept of space. I guess I'll go 1A. Understanding which space is valuable. One B. Taking space and preventing loss of space unchallenged. So that goes back to a lot of like what I saw early on in Eichenwald, around the Eichenwald defense, is not identifying the valuable space and as a consequence of that, we lost a lot of space without giving a challenge, and then that put us on our heels a lot. So, and then number 2, I think, is especially for Winston. So I guess this kind of goes with concepts of space, but operational high ground. So like within that, let's go 2A is going to be finding valuable intermediary high ground space. And by this, I mean identifying, so it goes back to kind of concepts of space, but finding map-specific vantage points and high grounds that you want to hold and initiate from. So I wish I could edit that. And initiating fights/targets from here. 3, ability usage. So I think one of the big ones is, especially on Monkey, is using cooldowns such as Bubble effectively, making sure they have value. Can I move that? That got really far. No, it's not going to let me move that, is it? I'll just erase that. Oops, text box. Why is it so big? Okay. 3A. Effective and valuable use of cooldowns, such as Winston Bubble. That's the ability that I saw get the least amount of value, and it hurts because of its 13-second cooldown. And so 3B is going to be calling out your ultimates, like regardless of whether it's a good ultimate or a bad ultimate. If you're going to decide to use your ultimate, then you have to call it out and give your team that awareness that there's something to be followed up upon or something that needs supporting. I did not hear a lot of ultimates called out, if any. And then especially with Primal, but also a little bit with the Earth Shatter, understanding the purpose of ultimates, and within that, understand and how they change with context. So like Primal Rage is a really good example of an ultimate that how you use it like can change a lot based on the context. Like whether you're using Primal Rage offensively to like scatter and knock shields out of the way, like knocking away a Rhine so he can't shield away his teammates during a Diva Bomb, or knocking people around so that they get caught in a Deadeye or a Visor, something like that. That's one way to use Primal Rage. Another way to use it is to stall out point at the end of a point. So like if you have the on a King of the Hill map, if you have control of the point and you need to stall it out and get more value, like time on that counter, you use Primal Rage to stall the fight. Primal Rage can also be used to return really quickly. Like if it's about to head into overtime and there's still like an ongoing fight on the point and you just spawn, you can use Primal Rage to get back in like 2 or 3 leaps. If you're on a payload map and it's in overtime and you need to push it just like another 10-15 meters, using Primal Rage to kind of scatter the enemy team off the payload, so that your team can follow up. Or if you're defending a payload, using the Primal Rage just to clear the point. So understanding, like, especially Winston's Primal Rage, how the ultimate changes with context, and then also some mechanical things. There's some really good videos about the mechanics of Primal, of how to like properly juggle targets and how to jump around them to knock them where you want to, how to jump effectively so that you're not jumping like over a target and then unable to get in melee range coming back. That's a really those are all really important things. And 4, I'm going to go something goat specific. Lead. So I would love to have Reinhardt lead the ghost composition. Like, so next time in a scrim, like, I think we should try having Hoapir lead the goats comp, and everyone else is going to follow, you know, his call. He's going to be swinging his hammer at targets. He's going to be identifying the out of position targets, because he typically is going to have the best you know, line of sight, because he's going to be at the front line. So he's going to be the first person to identify an out of position target. So he should lead the calls, lead the initiations, and also don't charge. So there are, of course, exceptions to every rule. You know, there might be, like, if you do get booped away and it's out of your control, you know, using charge to get back into your team is good. But when you're initiating as goats, and you're the Reinhardt, you really don't want to just like have a big ol' like charge into the enemy team, because it's going to separate you from your team, and it's going to separate the enemy team from your team by booping them away. So the less that you charge in Goat's composition, the better, in my opinion. And then 5, I guess I'm going to move 5 over here. So 5 is just going to be my mechanics thing. So we've got mechanics of Primal Rage. Mechanics of Primal Rage. We've got Rhine Barrier Free Look. And we've got, what was I talking about? Oh yes, the hop barriers. These are the 3 main mechanical things that I think can be worked on. The rest of these things are conceptual. You know, most of this is all game sense stuff. So like concepts of space, you know, making sure that you're getting value out of your cooldowns. This is more like the thought side of the game. You know, the strategy of being the lead Rhine in goats. So these are always going to be harder. Mechanical things are easy. So these are going to require more like conscious thought, whereas the mechanics can just be like trained a little bit quicker. But these are the 3 main things mechanically. So the Primal Rage mechanics, which I talked about, I didn't see a lot of barrier free looking, and I think that there were times in both maps where not barrier free looking was you know, putting us at a disadvantage, because we were losing track of where we were relative to our team, or where our team was relative to us. So learning to use the barrier free look is really, really key. And then the hop barriers. So I saw a lot of like you know, barriers where we're walking backward or walking forward, but the hop barriers are really good, as they can help, you know, save your barrier and make it last a little bit longer, but it also lets you move faster forward and backward. So learning how to hop barrier for those purposes is going to be really good. So I may watch this through again off of stream, off of recording, and see if I see anything else. But these are the main things that I would take away from this, and hope I can send you some good content on especially this stuff, concepts of space. And then also I know some good videos that look at the mechanics of Primal. And then the rest of these things are things that can, you can be practicing in your own play. So I'll make sure I get those links to you. And that's going to be it for this stream/VOD. I may be back shortly streaming some other content, but I'm just going to end it here so I can get the recording done. And thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch my first ever live VOD review. I hope that you guys learned some cool things. Bye.